venture that I now find myself in the middle of. What you are doing essentially is creating a second class of taxpayers. The base year tax assessment, or the base year property tax system, was designed to have everybody on a level playing field with an assessment in the base year, which in your case was 2000. What you're doing now, 17 years later, is you're choosing these folks because they're easy targets, because they just purchased a home. And you're dragging them into court, and you're saying, hey, you just purchased your home for X amount, therefore you are quote-unquote under-assessed. These folks are not under-assessed. They were properly assessed with their neighbors on a proper base year assessed value when they purchased the home. The school district, by undertaking this, has interrupted the uniformity of the property tax system, causing them undue burden with, as you've been hearing the last 2 weeks, the doubling, tripling, quadrupling of taxes. Now, of course, there's been some bad case precedent. Actually, leading the way was Carbon County in the Lee's case, which a lot of scholars have really criticized the decision of the court that allowed this practice to continue, including the University of Pittsburgh, who wrote several pieces calling this practice, quote, absurd. What we need to do is make a motion tonight, and you can make the motion tonight. You are allowed, as a former school board member, I do understand, you can vote at a committee meeting. It doesn't have to be a regular board meeting. You can do it tonight. And I would say your advertising requirement had taken place last week when you publicly advertised this meeting in a public meeting. Second and a vote. Then everybody here knows where all of you stand, and you will be on record as to how you feel about this process. What you're doing now is purposely dragging your feet to try to get these folks wrapped up into these hearings. They're going to get reassessed, and then you're going to claim, oh, I'm sorry, it's too late. Because that's what happened. Please, please, please don't do this to these folks. I know how badly they're hurting. And one last comment I would make is that if you truly feel that what you are doing is fair, you truly feel that the folks behind you are not paying their quote-unquote fair share, you truly feel that their homes are under-assessed, you do not have to only appeal homes that were bought and sold. You can appeal your own homes to make sure why not entertain a motion to appeal your own homes, get an appraisal, and go into court and make sure you folks are also paying your fair share, because you are currently enjoying that base year assessed value on your own homes, presumably. I don't know. I didn't look into every single situation. But presumably, that is what is going on. So I would suggest, number one, drop the appeals. You have the ability to do it. You have the ability to do it tonight. If you feel that you cannot do that, will not do that, you do not have the political power or the political will to raise taxes uniformly on the entire tax base rather than these folks behind you, you should lead by example. Appeal your own home's assessed value, get an appraisal, and have your own taxes doubled and tripled to make sure you're paying your taxes.
You're going to be the last one. Okay, we'll hear from. Okay, so you want to sum up? This meeting time is almost. No, the meeting was scheduled at 6:30 for the, and we arrived at just about 6:30. That was a personnel. That was. Personnel and athletic committee meeting at 6. The special meeting started at 6:30, and then the finance committee meeting after that. So we were not late. Okay, Mr. Roberti.
Right. Tim Roberti, I'm a Tippecanoe Area School District taxpayer. There's been a lot of numbers thrown out. People are discussing their personal stories, but what I'd like the board to understand is that the result of these appeals is that a house in Jim Thorpe will end up with taxes of approximately 3.5% of value. So I'd like you to all mentally ask yourself if you're in that boat. That would mean a $100,000 house can count on taxes of about $3,500 a year under the system. $150,000 house, about $5,200. A $200,000 house can be looking at taxes of about $7,000, a hair under $7,000 a year. So that's the kind of number. So you can all mentally run the numbers for yourself. And you know, everybody talks about just making it fair, but it's not. What the last speaker said is true. You really end up with two groups of taxpayers: people who were last reassessed in 2001 and people who bought since. And the fact that you've been able to file 900 tax appeals on a 2-year period should suggest to the board that something's broken here and it ain't working. So, you know, 900 is an absurd number over a 2-year period. You know, I don't know a percentage, but I'd be willing to bet that's at least 50% of the sales, if not more. You really are saddling the new buyers with a burden, and to drop it out of the blue. The board could have said in an announcement, we are going to file appeals starting January 1st. The board hadn't done this in years, and they just decided to do it. And some of these people found out maybe 3 weeks before their hearing happened. There was no public mention in any of the meetings. I didn't see it in the newspaper. I'm not sure anybody else did. But this just came out of the blue, came out of nowhere. 3.5% of taxes, $7,000 a year for a $200,000 house. No doubt about it, a nice house in Jim Thorpe, but nothing extravagant. That's what you're asking people.
Yes, certainly. Go ahead.
I appreciate that. I'm Michael Ripken, and I spoke last week, and
Mike, Mr. Ripken, go ahead.
I don't want to interrupt these folks. Okay.
All right, you have the floor.
Here's the bottom line, if I may, please. What you're hearing here tonight boils down to one word. What you have here is you have passion. You have people here that chose to move here. I live here. Jeffrey lives here because we chose Jim Thorpe. We could live anywhere. We chose Jim Thorpe. Mitch and Amy chose Jim Thorpe. Jen Christman chose Jim Thorpe. These folks are passionate. You're not just hurting people like us that just moved here, although it sure feels that way. But the long-term effects. Look at our neighbors around here. Look at Summit Hill that's tearing down its historic homes. They're losing their tax base. They're losing their residents. That is exactly the direction that we're planning here. We'll be in the same boat. You will not have a tax base to raise. Now, I hear you and I get it. I do budgets all the time. I fully respect you have a budget to meet. Now, when I'm running a hotel, we trim the budget. We trim the budget because my job is on the line. Now, I get it. Sometimes rates have to go up, but they go up across the board. And what we're doing here, you're taking 900 out of 27,000 taxpayers. 900 on equitable raises. I don't want to repeat what everybody's saying. All I'm saying is, you know it's unfair. You know it's wrong. We can all agree we need to find a better way. There's nobody here that doesn't want to see the school succeed. It's a great looking school. There's nobody here that doesn't want to find school in the district. That's what attracts some of these new people. The new blood, the new ideas, the new investment. Do you want to kill that? We can fix this. You can call a meeting for 24 hours from now. We'll be here. We'll be here to rally you on. We'll be here. Let's call a meeting.
Turn it over to you. Do you have any words of wisdom there?
No, we will basically have, I'm sure, an announcement, but our solicitor's not here, and we were advised, all due respect to the gentleman that spoke, and I do appreciate what you said, and we do really, I don't know, you don't know us, you're from Pine Grove, and we're new, we don't know, but it doesn't help to make comments like that. We really do care. Hold on. And we want to, our solicitor told us we cannot take a vote tonight. He said under the sunshine law, we cannot. So we're going to have to delay that till, regardless of what you said, he's our attorney, so.
It's the same solicitor I paid for?
Right, no, it's but we are going to adjourn the city meeting. And we will stay, some can stay and talk to people individually if you like. The committee meeting's adjourned.
Commit to a vote.